the report on the 2017 main theme on the eradication of poverty in all its forms and dimensions, and in complement, the thematic Secretary General's report on eradicating multidimensional poverty. The high-level political forum on sustainable development convened under the auspices of ECOSOC. The meeting of the high-level political forum on sustainable development convened under the auspices of ECOSOC will take place from the 10th to the 19th of July. The first week will address the theme of this year's HLPF, which is, as you recall, eradicating poverty and promoting prosperity in a changing world, as well as the 6 SDGs, that is SDG 1 on poverty, and 2 on hunger, 3 on health, 5 on gender, 9 on industrialization and infrastructure, and 14 on oceans. I will soon make an announcement on the nomination of the 2 co-facilitators who will lead a number of informal consultations on a draft text to be considered for this particular declaration. I trust that the 2017 Joint Ministerial Declaration on eradicating poverty will advance the realization of SDG 1 and break new ground and place for those who are furthest behind first. The floor is open for any questions or clarifications.
So to ensure that we are able to provide substantive feedback, we think that it would be helpful to establish an expectation of the amount of time that would be allowed to provide that feedback. And from our perspective, given that all of us need to go back to capitals and other concerned parties who can be in different time zones or even in other UN meetings, we would recommend that there should be no less than 3 full working days between the time that planning documents and agendas and concept notes are released and the time that they're considered by the Bureau. If that's not possible, I think our default position would be that we would request that the Bureau defer action on those types of documents so that member states would have time to go back to the relevant parties to solicit their input. And then this is really perhaps a bit in the weeds, but when there are updates to documents that member states have previously reviewed, to the extent it's possible to note the changes in subsequent versions when they're re-released, we think that would really help improve the efficiency of all the member states that are reviewing multiple versions as they come out. Thank you.
I can't agree with you more that we need adequate time to refer whatever needs reference to head offices and to respond accordingly. We will urge by way of preparations that the Secretariat provides such information earlier so that you have adequate time for making references and for responding adequately. I hope that we can meet that expectation. I thank you. Switzerland?
My comments and actually, my comments are in regards to the ECOSOC Partnership Forum. We appreciate this opportunity. However, we do not fully understand where this request comes from, nor are aware that this was a request coming from member states. The program makes a reference to General Assembly Resolution 70/224. And indeed, in this resolution, there is an operative paragraph 15, which mandated the ECOSOC Partnership Forum in 2016 to discuss issues such as accountability and transparency. But no further follow-up to this discussion was mandated by member states, nor has there been a request to discuss any guidelines. So as we had conveyed through our representative in the ECOSOC Bureau, we would have preferred a topic on ways to enable better and more effective partnerships, as well as ways to improve transparency, accountability, and a uniform approach to partnerships involving the UN. Now we understand fully that the planning of the Partnership Forum is already well on its way, and maybe that is a concrete example on what my colleague from the United States has tried to say, that it is important to give ample time to have a reflection with member states on the development of the programs. So this program is well under its way, and we therefore have a proposal to make in acknowledging that there's probably not much change to be made, but we would appreciate if that could be taken up in the final question. It's only a small edit. So we would propose the following: keeping existing principles and guidelines in mind. How can the UN better ensure uniformity in its approach to partnerships, including at the field level, and that UN partnerships conform to UN values? We would very much appreciate if that could be taken up, as we think that would then lead to a conducive discussion. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
The Partnership Forum is in fact an informal forum, and that it doesn't really have specific mandates which are outlined somewhere. It is generally speaking at the pleasure of the President. However, those aspects have been raised by the representative of WIOG in the Bureau, and we will try our best to take them into consideration and to see how we can accommodate each other as we progress forward. I urge the Secretariat to actually take note of what we've just said. If you could present it in a written form so that we can look at it and see how it dovetails into the mandate of the President of ECOSOC. I thank you.